Yo, I'm saying it. I'm about to physio school myself because I am probably the biggest perpetrator of all of this. You're not getting better. And it's not because you can't get the right physio. It's not because you don't have the right equipment, you can't do the right exercise at home, or you're doing the wrong exercise, or you were given the wrong manual therapy. It's not because you got a kid, it's not because you work too much, it's not because you have exams to do, games to play, friends to see, families to see. It's all of these to some extent, and all of these fall under the same category. You don't have enough time. And I'm dead serious. I'm dead gluteus maximus. Don't play with me. Not right now. Just I swear I'm gonna rewatch this video in 5 years time and be like, he's got a point. He actually has a point. You're not getting better in whatever injury you have because you don't have enough time. And let's just keep this in the realm of possible injuries. Like, we ain't talking about ICU, ER, you don't have like a mad TBI or a stroke. Let's just keep this in the realm of normal musculoskeletal injuries that you would go to a physio for. And I've heard it all. I've heard kids, I got depression, that's a big thing. I'm allergic to exercise. I'm allergic to exercise too. That's all of us. I've heard of, I got really, really long days. I've got med exams, I've got specialist exams. And then myself, I'm gonna put myself on blast because I don't have enough time for rehab. And I'm trying to think of an excuse right now. Nothing's coming to mind. Come on, think. Nothing. I got no excuses. I don't have an excuse for not having time. So, because I don't have an excuse, let's use me right now as the prime example. Imagine all of these as one equation. Look at your day and break it up into an equation. Wake up, go to work. How long do you go to work? I go to work for like 11 to 12 hours. I slept. Last night I slept for 6 hours. Okay, so what do we train like? 17 hours. I don't know, I can't do math. We got another 7 in the tank, right? Cooking, cleaning, meal prepping, eating. That's another 1 to 3 hours sometimes. Then you have your emails, chores, Excel sheets, you have laundry, you have miscellaneous, shower, all of that stuff. That's another 1 to 2 hours. Then you have relationship, friends, family, again, another 1 to 2 hours. And then you gotta de-stress. You gotta actually procrastinate. Have some time for yourself to recharge. I talk to a wall. What up, wall? We're having really long dialogues back and forth. Like, that's another 1 to 2 hours, right? And then all up, you take all these things and you minus them. How many hours do you have in your day to actually dedicate to rehab and exercise? I got potentially 1 to 2, but it's not only that. You have to make sure you have the energy to do something during those 1 to 2 hours. And I don't know how many people actually have that energy to complement that time for gym. But what usually happens is I'm so done, I'm so pooped, I'm so spent, right? You know, I have enough time and energy to play a game of TFT, come 8th, play another game, come 8th again, and then go to sleep a loser, and then tomorrow rinse and repeat. I look at my day, and I'm like, where's the rehab? Where's the sport? I can see myself going through this routine for the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and be like, damn, I lost myself physically. I'm clapped. I'm super clapped. Not only am I clapped, I knew I was gonna get clapped. I'm him. I became the him for clapped. You know what? Out of that equation that we just wrote down or mentally went through, do it for yourself. I see no rehab in my own life. I see no sport in my own life. Like, your boy losing himself physically, I'm like, and then one day I'm gonna be so clapped, I'm gonna be like, damn, why don't I put sport there? Why don't I put rehab there? And I thought about all these things, and you can literally put them and rate them by the categories time, energy, and priority. For example, going to work, arguably a 7 time, 5 energy score and then a 5 priority. It's a non-negotiable, right? Then you have kids. I'm just trying to empathize my parents. When I was 1 to 2, I would have been like, I'm gonna cry. Kids are gonna be, a 10 for time, a 10 for energy, and then a 10 for priority. Like, I understand that. And then you have things like looking at Pokemon cards, researching Labubu. Arguably, that takes 1 time, right? You put a 1 time for this, then you have, it gives me energy. So that energy is like negative. Have that in your day because it helps you recharge. And then the third one is priority. What seems like a 10 priority is just a 1 priority. And then you keep on going down this, like, what about sleep? What about talking to my wall? And then figure out what sport is. What is rehab? What is training? Right? What is all that stuff? And then To go even further, me to my patients, I'm like, look, you have an injury. It could be an ankle sprain. It could be like a hamstring tear. It could be like this long-headed biceps niggle. It could be plantar fasciitis. It could be like this glute issue that you're feeling for like the past 6 months, right? It could be a torn labrum. What is that time, energy, and priority? Specifically, what is the priority of that to you? All these things take time to get better. They take energy to get better. But what priority is it? Like, that's the biggest question. And you might be someone who's torn a labrum, got a surgically repaired, and then hard external rotation, threw a ball, tore it again, right? What is it now? Have you given up? If you've given up, then obviously it's a zero priority because it has no implications in your life. You don't even care about throwing a ball anymore. Like, you can't even, like, freestyle ain't a thing. I'm never gonna be in the pool. And I get it. Like, patients say that and it's like, done. Okay, it's not a priority. Why are you here? Just, that's it. But if you're someone who's torn the ACL, damn, I really want to get back to dunking. Damn, I really want to get back to like sprinting hard. What should I do? That becomes like a 8, 9, 10 priority. And then once you make it a priority, you start to find time. And it's time that you can dedicate into the following question. What is my mechanism of injury? You're able to figure out what combination of movements is causing you pain. And then you get to figure out what isometrics are you meant to do? What exercises should you be doing? You know, are you doing it correctly at home? And then when you're doing it correctly at home, right? What type of pilot study, 2 to 4 week program, maybe 6 weeks, maybe, 6 months? What type of little pilot program do you have to do for you to reap the right results? That takes time. And then you get to baseline, I'm out of my injury. You still gotta invest time. It's like, damn, it keeps on coming back. And you gotta figure out like, what type of exercise program do I have to do to make sure that I keep on increasing or I don't relapse? And all that takes time. And I'm not making this video to disparage anyone except myself. We're all trying to do our best. You're trying to do your best. Like, I get it. Like, even if it's just a wrist injury, and it's a niggle, but it's affecting you every single day, and it's affecting your quality of life, you do care. You just don't care more about your wrist than feeding your kids. Like, I don't know, like when I look at my wrist exercise and people are just doing extensions or like, how is this gonna feed the kids? Like, I get it. Like, what am I? Okay, stop. Just, okay, you get the point. Like, when is exercise gonna feed the kids? It's not. And I get why it just slips through the cracks and it fizzles away and you just keep on dealing and trudging through your pain to no avail. I just want you to know that even if your injuries start off as a niggle, it slowly creeps up. Like, I've seen too many cases of people with, a tiny bit of valgus in their squat. Valgus is when your knees knock inwards, right? When you're lifting up, you just want to bias your vastus lateralis, doesn't matter. And they're squatting 80 and then they have like knee knocking, they have valgus. Okay, that's fine. Go to 100, that's fine. Go to 120, that's still fine. They're squatting 150 and I'm like, damn, like, you be careful out there. And then they're like, how do I push it? Just that extra step up. And I've seen people have that valgus, see it, not feel too much about it. Their MCLs are slightly sore. MCL is the medial collateral ligament of your knee. It's the ligament that's on the inside of your knee. And then suddenly when they're trying their 155 PR, they're jerking the bar up. Their knees buckle a tiny bit more into valgus. They're in that flex position and then boom, there goes your ACL because you pivot shifted. And that's the thing. That's the thing that starts off as a niggle and you don't put time in it and then suddenly it's blown out of proportion. Or I've seen people with tight calves. 1 month passes, I'll fix it later. 2 months, I've got work, I'll fix it later. 6 months passes. I've been doing this for so long, it ain't a thing. It ain't got me yet. And then in 9 months, 1 year, on a really unlucky day where you're backpedaling and you slip, go forwards for a fast break, there goes your Achilles. That's done. And now you either got to go surgery or you got to go into a moon boot for whatever years. The ortho doesn't even want to suture it back because your watershed areas are bad. The reality is that pre-injury, these things are so minute, so small, that we don't really assign time. Or when we think about assigning time, it takes too much energy. It takes too much time to to get any sort of long-term gratification. It's just not worth it. Let me just put it in the back burner, just whatever. Until injury strikes and you're like, damn, I stuffed up, I'm clapped, right? And then suddenly you're in this deficit that takes even longer to rehab, invest time, invest energy, and it's like 10 out of 10 priority. So with whatever injury you have, it either gets so bad that it forces you to make it a priority, or you forcibly make it a priority before it gets bad. Do that, Josh. Come on. That last message was to me. I'll work my hamstring. All right, that's more single leg deadlifts for me. We're closing in on injuries. Injuries, that's our ops. So we gotta make sure that we're not gonna get injured. All right, see you guys. Take care.